December 12th is the election board hearing. All right.
Oh, yes.
I just hope that if this complaint is dismissed, that the Times covers the dismissal as much as they covered, and slimed my family the day before Thanksgiving. And they were mad at me about Speros, by the way. And that's a whole separate animal we didn't even get to talk about. Jim, did you know that the United States Air Force yesterday just announced that they're going to Fair Oaks Farms? You cannot get that overnight. This has been going on for like a year. And the troubling thing about that is Speros' board didn't even know until last week that he wanted to move the South Shore, the Gary Airshow to Newton County. So he's not cutting his board in, even though he's in discussions with the United States Air Force. That's interesting. Takes the board totally for granted.
Since the very public spat between you and Speros Batistatos.
And the Times, because the Times protects their own. Speros is on their editorial board, so whatever Speros wants, the Times automatically going to print. So you have to understand what happened last week. This thing about Marissa is not front page above the fold news. It's not. This is like page 6, small paragraph, because it's going to get dismissed. All right? The Times busted out on the front page above the fold, not because it's because of what's going on with the air show. And quite frankly, there's a whole nother story that I would love to talk about, but it would really embarrass the Times. And then they would really come after me about how unprofessional their reporters are. Let's just say one of their reporters doesn't know how to use the reply all button. And he insulted me, and he unintentionally insulted me. That's a whole separate matter, okay? But the Times is mad about the air show because I had the audacity to say, why are we spending $400,000 in another county? So the next day I wake up, and they have a story above the fold that they've been sitting on for 3 weeks, by the way. It's a joke. It really is. It is so important that WJOB is alive and thriving, Jim, just so you could check them, the Munster newspaper. It's ridiculous. Once you see how the machine works, once you see the inside of the machinery, it makes you really depressed. And unfortunately for the mayors, you get to see that kind of stuff.
So where is it between you and Speros right now?
I think he has no respect whatsoever for local elected officials like myself. He has no respect whatsoever for his board because they didn't even know about the air show until the press conference. I think it's a joke. And somebody's got it. I don't think what he does is legal. I think we should change the state law and change the way we do business because as long as it's a county convention and visitors bureau, the money's got to stay in the county. And what he does is he doesn't even give his board the respect to talk to him. But he's talking to the Air Force, and he's talking to the ownership of Fair Oaks Farm. And I still haven't heard how much profit they're going to make off of this with our money. How much profit is Fair Oaks Farm going to make off of this? They're going to make something, right? There's had to be a business deal cut if the Air Force is already saying they're flying there. So tell us, Speros, how much are they going to make with our money? $380,000 he has budgeted from Lake County hotel motel tax for this. $380,000. How much of that goes to Fair Oaks Farm? That's a very simple question. How come the Times doesn't ask that question? Oh, Speros is on the editorial board. Jim traded stock. Okay, I'm a big stock market guy. When you see the media, if I was on CNBC and I was pitching Apple, and at the very end of my thing I have to come out and disclose, hey, by the way, I just spent 5 minutes pitching Apple, but by the way, I'm an Apple stockholder. So people that heard my 5-minute pitch and at the very end say, hey, by the way, I have to disclose that I actually own Apple stock. You have to do that. It's required under federal law, right? But the local media, they could sit there and defend Speros and pitch his idea. And at the very end, they should come out and say, well, you know what? We've been pitching the air show hard, but Speros is actually on our editorial board. They should have to disclose that kind of stuff, but they don't. And you don't know that, but I do because I know all the people involved. It's a joke. They should disclose. When they come out and forcefully defend one of their own, they should come out and say, by the way, he's one of my bosses. He's on my editorial board. Just like they do on CNBC.